All right. Hello, hello. Let's talk about Mercury retrograde. Oh my God. OMG. It's in Leo. Okay, people. This really is a big deal. I feel like this is a big deal in a positive way. Okay. People talk about Mercury retrograde as like, oh God, everything's gonna suck. All my computers are gonna go down. There won't be any email. There won't be any whatever. I'm here to tell you that this Mercury in retrograde feels a little bit like a warm cup of cocoa and a foot rub compared to that. And it doesn't mean that I don't think those things can happen, because I think they can. But when it's in the sign of Leo, and I don't know where Leo is in your birth chart, but that's worth taking a look at, because wherever this transit is in your birth chart, there is something to do with reclaiming the storyline about because Mercury is about story and communication. Reclaiming the storyline about my career, my love life, whatever. And Leo is about the sun. It is about who we are and who we're projecting out into the world. So I did a little video about this the other day that's on the channel, and it really is about reclaiming the story of who you're projecting into the world. So I kind of like this. And if you have an experience where there's a story about you going out into the world that you don't really like, is it true or not true? Is why you don't like it the fact that the truth is out there? Or is why you don't like it that it puts you in a bad light? But is it true? There's definitely something here to consider about when the narrative that's being told isn't your narrative about something, but the underlying truth of it is also something to take a look at. All right. So message trying to come through. And it's like, okay, none of us like truths that come out about us that make us feel kind of like yucky, or I don't know, feeling judged or feeling whatever you're feeling when some truth comes out that feels embarrassing or that feels kind of not, you would prefer that remain private. Let's take a few cards here just to see the message coming through. Guides. Boy, this weekend was really loud for me. Death and divine feminine. There's a big change here. There's a big transformation for the divine feminine or in the divine feminine. A big change. I feel like this has to do, I don't know, with Mercury in retrograde, possibly that it's also happening at the same time that Uranus is in Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini too. So there's like this interconnectivity with some big shifts going on right now. And then this is Pluto energy, death. So big changes happening for the divine feminine, to the divine feminine. Let's see what wants to come out in the reading here. It can be about a change of storyline or change in what we're talking about as it relates to divine feminine. If you haven't seen that reading I did yesterday, directing about change as it relates to the spiritual path, I would watch that right now, because that death card coming out makes me feel like, oh, wow, this is a follow-on reading to that. This feels like it's in the similar vein. The guides are trying to say, hey, there's big change with the divine feminine right now. Oh, yeah. Okay, Fool. That's true. The 6 of Cups here, the 7 of Cups, the Hierophant, and the 10 of Wands. Oh, the truth, and then there's the World here. The truth is that there has been so much confusion, lack of clarity going on Mm-hmm. And literally this Taurus energy, the Taurus energy to me says, I want to get it back to, let's get back. Oh my gosh. I'm almost thinking, and what's coming through is an image of me of, like when you reboot your computer to the last time that it was viable, or to the last operating system that was viable in it. I've had to do that once or twice with different computers. And there's definitely a feeling here that the reality is being rebooted to the last available operating system. 10 of Wands says to me that the current one, and I'm going to take that world card, the current one is burned out. The current timeline that we're on is burned out. And we're going to reboot to the last available. Okay, that would be insane. I feel like I know that I remember an episode of Big Bang when Sheldon reverts to the last viable day before something happened. It was like all the way back in like 2003, and he had his very stylish new flip phone. And this was like in, I don't know, 2012, 2013, 2014 or something like that. And now it's 10 years later than that. There's something here about going back, because the 6 of Cups is like nostalgia from the past. The 7 of Cups is lack of clarity about things. And it's like, that's ridiculous. Like somebody wants to reboot the world back to some kind of last viable operating system. Everybody's got their own ideas about what that is. Okay. Message and the guides. So I'm just going to lay this out here. 2 of Swords, the Star card, and the 2 of Wands. That's about going forward. This is about forward in time. Okay. Because the star is Aquarius and we're moving forward in time. Even though Pluto is in retrograde right now in Aquarius. 10 of Swords. I got that. Oh boy. Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups. This is divine feminine energy. Had enough. 4 of Swords, Queen of Swords, 10 of Cups. The one that's missing is the Queen of Wands. Creativity. There's something here about had enough. Okay. Divine feminine has had enough of what's going on the planet right now. Wow. Give me more of that death in divine feminine. 4 of Pentacles. There's that Hierophant again. That could be traditional. That could be patriarchy. Okay. Ace of Cups. 5 of Swords. I feel like divine feminine. I feel like the divine feminine says enough. Enough of this nonsense. Ace of Cups, 5 of Swords. Enough about going back to something to, reboot the world with its last viable operating system. Oh my God. The 3 queens, we got 3 queens here. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords. Air signs, water signs, earth signs. And then the 10 of Cups is the outcome. So there's something here about the divine feminine deciding the direction. Because Pluto, the star is here, and the 2 of Wands. This is about making decisions about going forward. Where we are, where we have just come from, 2 of Swords, 10 of Swords. There's an ending here with that Death card and then that 10 of Swords. And it's in the past of this reading. It's in the past of this reading. So that could be happening right now. This 10 of Swords, 2 of Swords. This jumped out. By the end of July. By the end of July, Chiron will also have gone retrograde. This month alone, Saturn's retrograde, Neptune's retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, Pluto is retrograde, and the divine feminine is internal. And then I'm seeing August on the bottom here. So what about August? So by the end of this month, there is some major ending. There's some major ending. There can be some kind of offer that is malicious in intent. And feminine's like, enough. Enough. Three of Wands. Hanged Man. Hermit. I like that Virgo energy. And the Five of Wands. So there is definitely something about looking at what's going on from a new angle. I feel like feminine is doing that. I feel like the divine feminine is looking at what's going on. Messages coming through. The feminine says enough. Okay, enough. And is going to take matters into her own hands. By the end of this month. Two of Pentacles, another two. Three of Swords. Seven of Swords. Yeah, Six of Swords. We'll be moving away. I feel like there is some kind of loss. That it's like there's a decision to be made, that Two of Wands. There's a decision to be made. And it's like there are no perfect choices. All right. There are no perfect solutions. There are no perfect choices. But the divine feminine says enough is enough. And we're going to see this from a new angle, utilize the wisdom that we've created. And, you know, it's a little bit of let the chips fall where they may. The Five of Wands here, like allow conflict to ensue. Because I just feel like the feminine says, you know what? I feel like we're trying to do something that has no fallout, no consequences in order to sort of right the ship here. And I feel like that's not a thing. So there's something here that the feminine says, okay, I'm going to utilize my creativity. The Queen of Wands, if you take my tarot class, when I get three of a thing, like I've got three twos here. Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Two of Swords. The one that's missing is the Two of Cups. So there's something about being on the same page. All right. That's missing. What's missing here is, and that can be the most powerful thing, that Two of Cups is about seeing eye to eye, being balanced. It's almost like something, there is a choice and something needs to be sacrificed with this Three of Swords and Seven of Swords. We got the 10 of Swords. There is, something needs to be sacrificed so that we can move forward. I don't know if you're thinking about this in terms of a relationship in your life or a path in your life. But if you are divine feminine, if you're watching this, there's something that you need to leave behind in order to move forward. I don't know if it's a person. I don't know. I doubt it's an ideal. I feel like this has to do with really embracing your values in a much stronger way and not letting certain values just go down with the ship. Okay, there's certain things that are very important that need to be preserved. And it's almost like domestic tranquility needs to be preserved. Or so there's a decision that needs to be made that says, I need my peace. I need there to be peace, or I need there to be some kind of resolution to this. And I'm taking matters into my own hands. Divine feminine taking matters into her own hands. Page of Wands. There's the Two of Cups. Gaining consensus. Four of Wands. That's a move forward. King of Pentacles. That feels like something about resources, and it feels like, you know, if we are talking all of those retrogrades, there's a lot of internal wisdom being not incorporated yet, but really being awakened to. I feel like there's something about resources that needs to be reallocated. Resources need to be reallocated. King of Pentacles need to agree to reallocate resources. Boy, this sounds like an accounting class. In order for peace, in order for things to move forward. You know, Uranus moved into Gemini last week, and we've had a lot of big conflicts happen in the history of this country. We've had World War II. We've had Civil War. It is the run up to the Revolutionary War and the run up to the French Revolution. Like there's a lot in the history of that transit. What about that? What are we sacrificing here? What are we sacrificing? Five of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Nine of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. What we're sacrificing is this hoarding thing. I think we're sacrificing because look at the nine of Wands. The guy has all the wands. Five of Pentacles, people have nothing. I think the truth is we need to sacrifice this hoarding thing. Reallocate resources. Reallocating resources. So the Queen of Swords says, you know, basically what is happening is I feel like that the spiritual community says, you know, what I think people are missing is that there's so much abundance on this planet that we are missing that everyone can share in that. We are missing that. Three of Swords. Queen of Swords. Again, the Six of Swords, and there it is, Six of Pentacles. Reallocating resources. This hoarding thing. So that needs to be distributed, or that needs to be rethought. It needs to be rethought how we're doing this. And there may be some event that precipitates, okay, we need to rethink this. A do-over. We need to reboot this computer back into its last viable operating system. I guarantee you that is the first time I have used that metaphor in all my years of reading tarot. All right, I'm going to continue on. If this is your reading, if you are really resonating with this in your personal life or as a metaphor for what's happening in the world, then come on along with me. Let's keep going. Link is below. Pathfinders, I will see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.